Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Showers are already popping up for your Friday afternoon. Soon, these will turn to storms. I'll walk you through when you may need to opt for some indoor plans coming up.
Protests persist coast to coast. Cities across the country are getting ready for demonstrations against the Trump administration. Next, what Raleigh police are saying ahead of the protests.
And remembering Charlie Gaddy, the longtime WRAL anchor, has passed away. Next, we'll have a look back at his life and legacy. And we have a chance for some storms back in the mix this afternoon. Could be lingering into the weekend. Just take a live look at this satellite radar right now. It looks kind of like a mess right there as we head to the weekend. With the weather already impacting some weekend events. Capital City Juneteenth celebration will no longer take place tomorrow. Good afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be a partially rainy Father's Day weekend. Meteorologist Kat Campbell is tracking how storms could impact your weekend plans. Kat.
And if the storms aren't impacting the plans early in the day, it's going to be the humidity. It's awfully humid out there already. Some showers popping up. No lightning in our viewing area right now. Most of the lightning and thunderstorms are closer to Lumberton and the coast. But we do have some showers developing, and these will eventually pick up some steam and start to develop with some lightning likely. A shower in Durham right now. Also, a couple showers in southern Wake County. Nothing significant enough out there at the moment to put a storm track on. But I do think that'll change this afternoon. We do have one tiny storm that's going to be headed into southern Moore County here pretty soon. For now, not too active on the radar. I think that'll change a bit later today. And rainfall over the past 24 hours hasn't been very impressive in our area. But closer to Charlotte, they had a pretty significant flooding event just north of town there yesterday. Our concern today would be for some heavy rain. We're not under a severe weather outlook today. However, we are under a low flooding risk, and that risk is medium as you head into the northeastern part of the state up into southeastern Virginia. Futurecast doing a good job with a couple of these spotty showers now, but notice how much more red we've got on the radar as we get into the evening. I do think that there will be some scattered storms around during the evening commute. I just wouldn't take the placement of these storms on Futurecast too literally. More so just look at the coverage on the radar. And the coverage does increase after about 4 o'clock today, and we'll likely see a pretty active radar, I would say, through about 10 o'clock tonight. After that, we're going to be focusing in on the weekend with low pressure getting closer to us. Storm chances continue to rise. I'll walk you through your weekend on Futurecast to hopefully help you plan ahead. Coming up.
Kat, thank you. Make sure you have the new WRAL weather app. You can check the radar in real time to see when storms are in your area. Turn on the alerts so you are notified about severe weather immediately. It is free to download.
More protests similar to this one are expected tomorrow. It's in response to the current administration's decisions to include a crackdown on immigration and the decision to send military members to Los Angeles. This map right here shows the demonstrations that are planned across the country, including in our area. These events are spearheaded by the group called No Kings. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is live in Raleigh right now. This will happen the same day as President Trump's military parade. Sean.
Yeah, that's right. And local law enforcement here won't tell me any details about how they're preparing, but RPD and Capitol Police are both aware of it. RPD telling me that their goal is to make sure everyone can exercise their First Amendment rights safely. Now, the Wake County Democratic Party tells me they were granted a permit for this protest, and it will start at 4 o'clock. Kind of counter to other protests in the area so that other protesters can come to this one as well if they would like. Now, there are hundreds of protests planned across the country, according to the No Kings website, with roughly 15 demonstrations planned across our region. Downtown, they're expecting hundreds, if not thousands, in attendance. And this will serve as a protest to go against President Trump's immigration policies and really the administration in general. It will coincide with that parade in D.C., celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Army. Now, a spokesperson for the NC GOP calls the rally shameful, saying the American people clearly support President President Trump's agenda, but more importantly, we should all agree on celebrating and honoring our American heroes at the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army. Now, the Wake County Democratic Party tells me they will have several speakers here tomorrow, including North Carolina Congresswoman Deborah Ross, NC Democratic Party Chair Anderson Clayton, and UNC political professor Gene Nickel. And I'm told with the weather that's coming, this will go on rain or shine. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Los Angeles police arrested several demonstrators who violated curfew last night. It's still not clear exactly how many people were arrested on the third night of the curfew. It went into effect after some protesters were violent during anti-ICE demonstrations last weekend. Cleanup continues from those protests. So far, more than 200 people have been arrested in the Los Angeles unrest and protests.
Governor Josh Stein signed 6 bills into law this morning, including one that's aimed at bringing more money into the state pension fund. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie joins us now to break down what is in that bill and what would change. Laura.
Renee, one of the bills he signed today makes big changes to the way the state pension fund is managed. It's aimed at increasing investment returns on the $127 billion fund. The measure creates a board to oversee the investment of the pension fund. Until now, it's been the sole responsibility of the state treasurer, but most states have managing boards for their funds. It also gives the treasurer and the board more flexibility in how they invest that money, getting rid of some of the restraints on asset allocation that were written into state law many years ago. State Treasurer Brad Briner pushed for these changes. He says the pension fund has been underperforming for years, and that has come at a cost to state taxpayers and the retirees it serves.
If we can deliver 1% more, we will be able to deliver $2 billion a year more to our state budget. And that is why we're doing this.
This could be good news for state retirees who haven't gotten a permanent cost of living adjustment in years. Lawmakers say the money for that has to come out of the pension fund, and for years it hasn't been making enough to pay for one. Better returns could mean better chances that retirees will see a bump too. The new law had bipartisan support as well as the backing of Raleigh Mayor Janet Cowell. She served 2 terms as state treasurer. You might remember from 2008 to 2016. That new board will take over the pension fund management in 2026. Renee?
Laura, thank you. Fayetteville will need a new mayor next year. Mayor Mitch Colvin announced he will not run for re-election this fall. He says he wants to spend more time with family and work on his business. Colvin is the city's longest-serving black mayor. He was elected in 2017 and is serving his 4th term.
And here on the WRAL Live Center, we are following that breaking news out of the Middle East. The Israeli military launching a massive attack on Iran earlier today. The strikes killing more than 80 people, including top military officials. And Iran says Israel will pay a hefty price for this attack and its miscalculation. Rebecca Castor has more on what President Donald Trump is saying this afternoon.
Israeli Air Force jets taking off to intercept at least 100 Iranian drones Friday. Retaliation from Tehran for last night's airstrikes.
We will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons.
In the dark of night, Israel launched a wave of strikes on Iran, targeting its nuclear program and military sites. Israel says at least 3 of Iran's top military commanders were killed, and its largest uranium enrichment site was damaged.
When enemies vow to destroy you, believe them. When enemies build weapons of mass death, stop them.
In Washington, President Donald Trump says he was aware Israel was going to attack, although he was advocating for a diplomatic solution, with the U.S. holding several rounds of talks with Iranian officials. On Truth Social, Trump wrote, "I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal. I told them in the strongest of words to just do it, no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got. They just couldn't get it done."
It was quite clear that Iran was playing for time and was defiantly opposing any real resolution to this growing crisis.
Israel says more attacks are to come. It closed its embassies around the world, and Israeli officials are urging citizens to not display Jewish symbols in public.
An award-winning journalist and master communicator. Today, we're honoring the life of former WRAL anchor Charlie Gaddy, who passed away yesterday at the age of 93. He was hired in 1970 and was the face of WRAL News for 24 years. Charlie's defining moments of his career include covering the 1988 deadly tornado in Raleigh and talking over the air with Eddie Hatcher, who held newspaper employees hostage in Robeson County. Former WRAL sports anchor Tom Suter says Charlie was the gold standard in the news business.
He had the looks, he had the charisma, he had the presence, and he had dignity and he had integrity, but he also had this caring warmth about him, and it came in over the airways. If you're sitting at home, you just got the feeling that Charlie Gaddy really cared and that you could trust what he was saying.
I just feel like
Charlie Gaddy was inducted in the Raleigh Hall of Fame in 2012 for his excellence in journalism and service within the community. He was preceded in death by his wife, Nancy. You can go to WRAL.com for much more about the life and career of Charlie Gaddy. Hear him speak in his own words about his career, see photos from his time at WRAL, and watch the Tar Heel Traveler tribute from his 90th birthday.
Global unrest has made for some jittery trading on Wall Street as we wrap up this stock session for the week. Take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, I will say it was down over 500 about an hour and a half ago, and now it is just under 400 points in the red. And NASDAQ is down almost 100 as well. S&P 500 is down over 20 points right now. A traffic alert to tell you about this weekend in Wake County. Weather permitting, the eastbound lane of NC 540 right near Viridia Parkway near Apex and Holly Springs there. It'll be shut down for a paving project. The closure will be in place from 9 tonight until 1 p.m. tomorrow. Drivers are encouraged to avoid that area. And to avoid the closure, officials say the drivers can take exit 54A to get onto the NC 55 bypass before turning right on Bennett Knoll Parkway. Next at noon, tariffs to the north as President Trump heads to Canada this weekend. How Prime Minister Mark Carney plans to defend his home turf.
Also, Bojangles on the block. The North Carolina homegrown chicken chain is up for sale. How much is it worth?
Plus, it's graduation season. Thousands will walk across the stage. What to know if you are going to downtown Raleigh to watch.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
This Sunday, President Donald Trump will be in Canada for a G7 summit. Madeline Rivera explains this is all happening as trade tensions continue to escalate.
President Trump is heading north. The G7 summit kicks off in Canada on Sunday, and tariff talks are expected to dominate the discussions. The president will be meeting his counterparts from some of the world's 7 biggest economies, including Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, who says the future of the tariff war will be decided at the summit.
We're still facing and intensifying unjustified tariffs from our largest trading partner, and the best way to respond to that is to respond at home.
But on Thursday, the president doubled down on his trade policy, announcing an expansion of steel tariffs to include household appliances like dishwashers and refrigerators, and teasing a possible hike in auto tariffs.
All manufacturing is surging, and I might go up with that tariff in the not too distant future. The higher you go, the more likely it is they build a plant here.
President Trump says he's giving major trading partners another 2 weeks to make a deal, or he'll set his own terms.
He's just going to write him a letter and saying, look, here was your best terms. Here's your rate. If you want to do this, you can have a better rate.
But with tariff uncertainty looming over the global economy, most experts are not predicting any major breakthroughs at the G7.
I think what allies are bracing for, or what they're hoping for, is to simply get through the summits with the alliances still intact.
That was Madeline Rivera reporting. The president has paused tariffs on most countries until July 8th. He says it's unlikely that deadline will be extended.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center following some breaking news out of California, where we are learning about 200 Marines have moved into Los Angeles to protect federal property and personnel. The commander overseeing the more than 4,000 troops deployed said the Marines would take over operations at noon local time at the federal building in downtown LA. That's about 3 o'clock our time. The Marines will join some 2,000 National Guard troops that have been on the streets of the city since last week. California Governor Gavin Gavin Newsom has called the troop deployment a power grab by President Trump, with more demonstrations over the weekend. Trump could send troops to other states for immigration enforcement there as well.
India's prime minister met with the lone surviving passenger this morning, less than 24 hours after a devastating crash of that Air India plane. Investigators are searching the crash site and expect to find more victims. There was no information on whether the flight data and cockpit voice recorder have been recovered. London-bound Boeing 787 Dreamliner struck a medical college hostel when it fell from the sky minutes after takeoff Thursday. The crash killed 241 people on board and several people on the ground.
Meanwhile, California Senator Alex Padilla says he is not waiting for an apology from the Trump administration. That's his response after being forcibly removed from a Homeland Security event.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary.
Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go, and put behind my back.
All right, cool.
Several law enforcement agents pushed Padilla from the room as he tried to question Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. He wanted to question her about the response to protests in Los Angeles. Noem blames the escalation on Padilla, saying he did not identify himself, although you just heard him do so on the video. Padilla wrote on X, "If that's what they do to a U.S. senator with a question, imagine what they can do to any American who dares to speak up."
Closing arguments are underway in the retrial of Karen Reed. She was charged with killing her boyfriend with her SUV. Her first trial ended with a hung jury. Prosecutors say she hit and killed her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, in 2022. Reed's lawyers say she is the victim of a cover-up.
So much going on this weekend with graduation and outdoor celebrations and Father's Day. And of course, well, it's mid-June in North Carolina, so we get heat, humidity, and storms.
You know, it's that time of year, but the good news is these are scattered, typical summertime storms for the most part. So the earlier in the day you have your plans, the drier you're probably going to be. We already have some storms out there today. We were telling you yesterday on our evening news the best chance for storms would be noon through about 8 o'clock, and that's still likely the case. We've got one bolt of lightning now in our area. This is just southwest of Fuquay Marinas, so we'll watch that one storm head into Wake County. It's pretty small overall, but we do have some showers around Clayton, the southwestern part of Wake County. Durham saw just a quick shower, really not enough to water the garden. And we do have a bolt of lightning now for that storm crossing into Halifax County. Harnett County seeing some rain right now. That's good news for your gardens if you're around Lillington and just south of Southern Pines. Those showers are going to be moving in. The other big story today, the humidity. It is bad out there today. There is no other way to put it. It feels like you're in a sauna when you walk outside. Dew points are in the low to mid 70s, 77 in Clinton. The air in Clinton is juicy right now. These numbers are what you see in late July into August. I mean, this is pretty much as bad as we get in the area when you see dew points climb into the mid 70s. And we're going to stay in that tropical category of the muggy meter over the next 5 days. It's going to be very humid out. I just don't see any breaks in the humidity on the way. Maybe a little break in the heat if you see a thunderstorm at your house. We've got more rain coming, though, as low pressure gets closer to us. It'll drag a front our direction this weekend. For tomorrow, a small chance for rain in the morning. Not all models show that, but given just how humid the air is, I mean, we've got all the moisture needed for any little trigger to help a storm pop up or a shower. By lunchtime tomorrow, the better chance of storms may end up being at the coast. For us, our best chance for storms will come during the afternoon and evening hours. Pretty typical scattered summertime activity. You will have dry time mixed in both Saturday and Sunday this weekend. I do want to be clear about that. Sunday, I do actually think that the storm chances will come a little bit later in the day, and that's because this cold front gets here a little bit later on, so we could see some of those storms from the mountains head our way, and that would be a little bit later in the evening, probably 4 p.m. and on, that we would have that chance for a line of storms to try to make its way into our area, even into Sunday night. We were added to a level 1 out of 5 severe weather threat on Sunday. Remember, this is extremely common to see level 1 risks during the summer months. We see them about, I would say, at least half of the days during the summer. So this means 1 or 2 storms could become severe out there. The WRAL Garner Tower camera showing a lot of low clouds out there today, just trapping the humidity at the surface. As we look ahead over the next 7 days, high temperatures are in the upper 80s to near 90 this weekend. It's not going to feel any better, though. Even though we lowered the highs out of the 90s a couple of these days, it's still very, very humid. And next week, it is only going to get hotter by Juneteenth on Thursday. Rain chances are down to 20%, but the heat builds 95 next Thursday.
Kat, thank you. On a mission, a local breast cancer survivor is sharing her negative experience during recovery that has her pushing for change so other survivors don't have to experience the same thing. Today on WRAL News, starting at 5, the fight that is taking her from North Carolina to Capitol Hill.
And moldy food and bugs, just two of the discoveries at local restaurants. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur will tell us where and what else inspectors found in tonight's restaurant ratings report. Well, still ahead this noon, for sale, a deal could be brewing for Bojangles. Next up, the reported asking price for the chicken chain.
And explosions and fire, the popular power bank being recalled due to burn risks.
Google says its major systems are back up and running now after a global outage. Spotify, Google, and Amazon Web Services were among several online platforms affected. By the afternoon, some services began coming back online, and according to service provider Cloudflare, Google Cloud outage was behind this whole issue. Google did not issue an immediate response.
Meta is cracking down on apps that use artificial intelligence to undress people in photos. Meta is suing a company named Joy Timeline, which markets the apps in violation of Meta policy. The companies display ads consisting of nudity and or non-consensual intimate imagery with captions like erase any clothes on girls and click the button for the nudie version. The company says it's developing tech that will expose bad actors to stop digital exploitation.
We're on their side. We want our community to be a safe place for them. We're going to be taking action. We're going to file lawsuits. We're going to continue to develop technology.
Meta says they found more than 87,000 violating ads from Joy Timeline. The company has not commented on the lawsuit. Apple's biggest iPhone manufacturer, Foxconn, shipped nearly all the devices it made for the U.S. market from India between March and May. Reuters reports that's way above the 50% average from last year and is a clear signal of Apple's efforts to bypass tariffs imposed by President Trump on China. Apple has been taking steps to speed up production from India. In March, it chartered planes to ship roughly $2 billion in iPhone models from that country.
More than 1 million power banks are being recalled. Anchor has issued a recall for its A1263 model. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says a problem with the lithium-ion batteries could cause the items to overheat, posing potential fire and burn hazards. The company has received 19 reports of explosions and fires, which resulted in a few minor injuries and property damage. The power banks were sold online from 2016 through 2022.
North Carolina-based fast food chain Bojangles could soon be sold. The Wall Street Journal says the sale could value the company at more than $1.5 billion. That is roughly 3 times the price it sold for in a buyout in 2019. Bojangles built its first restaurant in Charlotte in 1977. It has since grown to include around 800 restaurants across more than a dozen states.
Barbie could soon be your assistant one day, and Mattel is partnering with OpenAI to do it. They're developing games and toys using artificial intelligence. The collaboration is at an early stage, and its first release won't be announced until later this year. Mattel says it will not license its intellectual property to OpenAI as part of the deal. It will remain in full control of the products being created.
Turning the tassel, you're taking a live look at Garner High's graduation ceremony going on right now. Thousands of students walking across the stage this weekend. Ahead, what families need to know before they head to downtown Raleigh.
Plus, remembering the life and legacy of Charlie Gaddy, we hear from one of his closest friends.
shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
The chance for storms is possible later this afternoon and into the evening. Right now, it's raining at Pinehurst.
Yeah, the chance is 100% right there. Pinehurst coming down behind us. Meteorologist Kat Campbell's timing out that system and how it could affect evening plans tonight, Kat.
Right now, there's nothing dangerous on the radar. That's the good news for you. However, we do have some pretty inconvenient weather for some, especially those golfers out there at Pinehurst. We do have one bolt of lightning that has faded. Not much lightning left within these showers headed for Wake County. So it's mainly just areas of heavy rain that would be impacting you. The worst of the lightning is toward our southern counties and just on the outside of our area at the moment. We've got a little bit of rain headed for Gardner at the moment. Holly Springs, Fuquay Varina, Your Grass, and yards are getting a nice drink of water, and some of these showers out there, they're beneficial really for some. Selma seeing a quick shower in Johnston County. We've got a bit more rain and some lightning even headed for Hoke County. There hasn't been very much in the way of rainfall, especially even when you add in yesterday's isolated storms that fired up. I'll have a closer look at rising storm chances for the weekend and your weekend beach forecast for Father's Day coming up.
Make sure you have the new WRAL weather app. You can check the radar in real time to see when storms are in your area. Turn on the alerts so you're notified about severe weather immediately. It is free to download. He was the face of WRAL News for 24 years. Today, we are honoring the life and legacy of Charlie Gaddy, who passed away at 93. Joining us now is Ken Smith. And Ken, you talked with Charlie's dear friend, Ira David Wood III.
Yeah, you know, Renee, many of us know him from starring in the holiday classic A Christmas Carol and other local productions. Ira David Wood is also an author and playwright. He and Charlie's friendship go back a ways, well before Charlie became an anchor here at WRAL back in 1970. Wood says he would appear on Charlie's morning radio show from time to time. The two remained close friends over the years, well after Charlie retired from the anchor desk here at WRAL. Wood says Charlie's most admirable attribute was how he made people feel when they met him.
Once you met Charlie, after 5 minutes, you had known him all your life. That was the feeling that you had. He was just that kind of special person.
Well, Wood says he would often play phone jokes on Charlie, calling him up, pretending to be someone else, like maybe the sheriff of a small town or even a church lady. They would often share a laugh about that. I know that we here at WRAL will always treasure his complimentary and encouraging words he would often share with us via email over the years. Renee.
He had such charisma and charm and always so gracious and kind. You can go to WRAL.com for much more about the life and career of Charlie Gaddy. Hear him speak in his own words about his career, see photos from his time at WRAL, and watch the Tar Heel Traveler tribute from his 90th birthday.
A man is in jail after a shooting in Goldsboro. Police confirmed this morning it happened on Hugh Street last night. One man was shot several times and taken to a Greenville hospital. Police arrested and charged Tyez Dudley in connection with the shooting. He's facing several charges, including assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. Happening right now, students at Gardner High School are walking across the stage. Their graduation ceremony started right at the top of the hour. There's just a few of the thousands of Wake County High School graduates who will turn their tassels this weekend. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey talked with students who graduated earlier this morning and explains what you should know if you're planning to attend one of the ceremonies this weekend.
4 graduation ceremonies are happening here inside the Raleigh Convention Center today. More than 12,000 Wake County students are walking across the stage this week. You can see family members and friends heading inside the convention center before Enlow High School's ceremony. Prepare to be in a lot of traffic if you're driving downtown today. The district recommends arriving at least 1 hour before your student's ceremony starts. Enlow High School graduate Raven Kelly explains why this milestone means so much to her.
I got to shout out my dad because he did pass away a year ago, and that was really hard for me. So the fact that I overcame that and still was able to graduate and be here is great.
That sure is great. We're sure her family is very proud of her. Now, the district has an FAQ page on their website for families who need information about graduation. You can find that link on WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
The owner of a bull spotted roaming in an Apex neighborhood has been found, and the animal will go home. People who live on Glen Summit Road in Apex spotted the bull named Whiskey Bent in their yards. Angela Gannon says she saw the animal walking through the neighborhood and managed to confine it in her backyard. She says she's relieved Whiskey Bent will be going home.
We have a dog who would lose her mind if she saw this animal because she will hunt down, a bird in a bush. So she's been inside all day, poor thing.
Whiskey Bent's owner promised us she'll share pictures of the happy reunion today.
Might want to think again before you unsubscribe. Why sometimes the move to declutter your inbox can also damage it.
Summer skin troubles. Sun plus sweat equals irritated skin. The best ways to prevent that problem.
You can download the new WRAL weather app and plan ahead for severe weather anytime. Turn on the alerts to get notified about severe weather in your location. It's free wherever you download your apps.
Pride Month festivities and Father's Day events. It is shaping up to be a busy weekend across the Triangle.
We're going to take a look at this weekend's best bets for you right now.
Craft beer lovers will be checking out the NC Hops Festival tomorrow. This will be from noon to 5 at Midtown Park over at North Hills. Food trucks and vendors will be open to the public. Tickets are available online if you want to sample the various beer, cider, and seltzer options.
Pride Month celebrations will take place in Durham this weekend. The third annual Aurora Flow block party is tomorrow afternoon. The event will include food and vendors. It starts at 4 p.m. on William Vickers Avenue.
And arts and crafts for Father's Day in Cary on Sunday. Kids and families can head to downtown Cary Park to enjoy exciting crafts at the Art Cart. The event is free to the public. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Think twice. Experts are saying there could be a catch to unsubscribing to junk mail. Why you may want to skip pressing that unsubscribe button.
And summer skin problems. The heat and sun could make your skin go haywire. The common summer skin issues and how to treat them. If your email box is full of junk and spam, you may be familiar with the unsubscribe button. However, what you think is a solution could lead to more problems. Richard Jacobus explains just how unsubscribing could create trouble.
If you're one of those people with a lot of emails in your inbox.
I mean, my inbox is at least 34,000 to 35,000 emails right now. So
It's probably safe to assume that at least some of them are from the same sender. Maybe a friends and family sale from your favorite clothing store or a last-minute travel deal, a site you subscribed to way back when.
Some of them I've subscribed to 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ago. And then some of them I feel like I don't remember subscribing to.
Well, don't be tempted to hit that unsubscribe button because according to research from DNS Filter, first reported by the Wall Street Journal, 1 in every 644 clicks on that unsubscribe button leads users to a spam site.
You are known to that site that you have read that email and clicked on that link. And so they know that they are actually sending mail to a valid email address.
Experts reveal that bad actors could steal your email and maybe build a case where they could attempt to extort money or scam you somehow with a clever trick.
It may be trying to act like it's redirecting you to sign in on another site when it's not really, or doing other things like that. You do have to be a bit careful about it.
And that is making most New Yorkers rethink how to deal with emails taking over their inbox.
It does freak me out. Yes. I mean, there's so many scammers out there. You got to look out.
Experts say there are other ways to get rid of these really annoying repetitive emails, and you don't have to hit the unsubscribe button. You're better off just deleting the email, marking it as spam, and hope that email never returns to your inbox.
With the warmer weather, you are more likely to spend more time outdoors, but the fun can quickly fizzle out. The heat, the sun, humidity can all make you sweat, and that can irritate your skin. And some of the most common skin problems during the summer months include acne, Doctors say you can prevent it by washing your face twice a day. And another common issue is folliculitis. That's an inflammation of hair follicles. It can be prevented by showering right after sweating and wearing breathable clothing. Another big problem during the summer, heat rash.
A way to avoid it is to avoid perspiration and decrease the sweat. So staying cool and making sure you shower afterwards.
Another common issue during the summer heat, dry and irritated skin. Avoid that. Dermatologists recommend moisturizing after every shower.
NASA has released new images of eruptions from the sun. The space agency used 4 cameras to stitch together this video. What you're seeing are coronal mass ejections, or CMEs, traveling from the sun out into the solar system. For scale, the sun is in the center, and 2 of the tiny dots you see are Venus and Jupiter. Scientists say once the cameras reach their final positions in space, they'll be able to track all sorts of space weather.
And if you think that's cool, look at this, because Kat Campbell and I are over here, and I'm looking at the Garner Tower here on the left, and then move over to the right. Look at this. It's raining right there. You can see it.
I love when you
Awesome.
can see the outline of the rain on the cameras. It's just really cool to see. We call this a rain shaft. So you can see right here is kind of the cutoff line where areas out here aren't seeing the rain. Areas within the shower, of course, are dealing with the rain. This is exactly what we mean when we tell you summertime thunderstorms. These areas may not get any rain today, while these get a good downpour to help out their gardens and their grass. These summertime storms are in the forecast through the weekend. They'll primarily be during the afternoon. Today has popped up, I would say, a little earlier than our typical summertime pattern of 3 to 8 p.m. being the best chance of storms. We told you yesterday it would probably be about noon to 8 p.m., and that's what we're seeing today. The southern half of Wake County is seeing these showers on a pretty widespread basis at the moment, but it's not widespread on the radar and in our viewing area as a whole. Still not much in our northern counties to talk about. You can see just a couple of very light showers. The bulk of the rain right now moving through Holly Springs, Garner. We've got some rain around Apex. This is shifting to the north, so it is going to be moving closer to Raleigh. Johnston County seeing some spotty showers right now with a bit more moving in, and we've got showers in the Sand Hills as well. The main impact right now, a couple of bolts of lightning and pockets of heavy rain. But it's going to be another hot, humid day today. High temperatures reach the upper 80s, especially we're starting to see some more sunshine peek out across Raleigh, I noticed. Summertime storms are in the forecast this weekend, mainly late in the day. I would say your best chance for storms this weekend will be in that 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. time frame. It's going to be very humid. Find a way to stay cool. And Sunday's storms, just a small chance that those could become severe. If we look hour by hour at your weekend forecast, 89 Saturday, 90 on Sunday. Hour by hour, our rain chances 20% tomorrow morning, so it's not zero, but it would be a pretty low chance. Once we get to the afternoon and evening, storm chances end up climbing to about 60% by tomorrow evening into early tomorrow night. If you're headed to the beach this weekend, not too different. Storm chances are going to be about 40 to 50% at the North Carolina coast tomorrow. It's going to be a very similar setup to what we see here. The difference is there could actually be some rain earlier in the morning tomorrow at the coast. And Sunday, a chance for scattered storms for Father's Day as well. If you've got beach plans, I wouldn't cancel your plans. Make sure you bring your WRAL weather app with you. It will work there at the coast, and it'll help you plan around any of the showers or thunderstorms. Just check in on the radar. Over the next 7 days, it is not going to storm every single day, but there will be some activity on the radar daily. And if you think it is steamy outside right now, just wait until next week. High temperatures climb back into the mid-90s. By next weekend, there is one model that does show a little bit of a dip in the humidity. So we'll hold on to that hope for now.
Kat, just an example of off and on. It was raining in Pinehurst and it stopped, and now it is a deluge right now.
It is really coming down. Wow, there in the Sandhills.
Good look. Officer's first gator, a new Florida cop encounters his first alligator.
No, wait, let's talk about how we're going to do this.
Yeah, do not drop the gator.
Okay, you'll take him back?
I will drop you if you
You'll
drop the gator.
You'll take him back?
I will take him back.
His reaction, that's now going viral. Oh my. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today.
More protests are expected in our area tomorrow. It's in response to the current administration's decisions to include a crackdown on immigration. These demonstrations are planned all over the country and many in our area. 2 are planned in Raleigh, and hundreds are expected to attend that. Both Raleigh Police and the Capitol Police tell us they are aware of the protests, but are not sharing any further details on how they're preparing.
Governor Josh Stein signed 6 bills into law this morning, including one that's aimed at bringing more money into the state pension fund. The measure creates a board to oversee the investment of the $127 billion pension fund. The new board will take over the state pension fund management in 2026. You can read more about this and the other bills he signed into law on WRAL.com.
Thousands of Wake County students are graduating this weekend. Garner High Schoolers are walking across the stage right now. And Millbrook High School, this is a live look here, by the way. Millbrook High School will turn their tassels later today. 26 schools are slated to hold ceremonies in the next 6 days. Nearly all of them are in downtown Raleigh. You can find a list of the times and the school's live streams on the Wake County Schools website.
Congratulations to them. Now, a Florida police officer who recently moved down from New York got to experience his first interaction with an alligator. Officer Martinez responded to what his department called a very Florida situation, an alligator wandering onto someone's property. It was a first for him, and apparently he did not care for it.
Slowly. Listen. The gator.
Hold on.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Why? Okay.
Hold it. Hold him tight.
Take a picture. Take a picture of me for the love of God.
I would be like him. Okay, Martinez, you saw, trying to work up the courage to hold it despite some pleading for help. Maybe a little squealing. In the end, the gator was safely relocated to another area, and no officers, including Officer Martinez, were harmed. The other officer was so chill, it's like, hey, this is how you handle it.
Happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
Another officer in Florida had his own run-in with an animal. However, it was less intimidating.
Oh my gosh. There's a little cat. Mind to find a kitten. You want a cat?
Yeah, that's it. During a traffic stop in Southwest Florida, a deputy found a kitten wandering in the road. He and the driver he pulled over saved that kitten, and the driver was let off with a warning for helping with the rescue. He called the stop the best pullover ever. The cat has been given the name Barry and is up for adoption.
And that brings us to today's pet of the day. We want you to meet Kyle. He's a 2-year-old guinea pig. He's very sweet, handleable, and talkative, especially when you offer him some veggies. Kyle would be great for a first-time guinea pig owner. His adoption fee is $25. He is studying how to be a good pet right now. Look at with his studious glasses. Learn more about Kyle. Contact the SPCA of Wake County. Snatch him up.
Helping others through art. Today on WRAL News at 4, how one local breast cancer survivor is providing hope to women just like her through tattoos.
Oh. And we want to wish all the dads out there a happy Father's Day weekend. Hope you enjoy it. And also want to wish Jeff not just happy Father's Day, but then also happy birthday tomorrow. Yeah, it's your
weekend.
Friday.
Yeah,
it's
going to be a whole
weekend
thing. Yeah, it's going to be great.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL. Your next local news update in 30 minutes.
You get breaking news updates anytime with the WRAL News app. Have a good one.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.